Chapter 731. Then the second and third monsters, lured by the cavalry members, began to approach. Either alternating between his sword and a bit of his power, did his utmost to prevent the monsters' desperate attacks from reaching Kishir. Kishir managed to dispatch up to the fifth monster without even swinging his sword more than a few times, using unilateral and overwhelming power. The speed of his actions was truly astonishing. Thanks to this, the cavalry members had the luxury of becoming accustomed to the lure and attack formation in actual combat, a tactic they were trying for the first time. Initially a bit hasty and mistimed, they gradually became composed and started to move in unison, like a single large entity. The imperial army and the candidates, witnessing Kishir's overwhelming swordsmanship and the divine sword in his hand, regained their confidence and composure infused with newfound hope. The anxiety to hasten matters faded, allowing them to move the awakeners of the Star of Nagran inside the building without disrupting the encirclement. It was a remarkable achievement made possibly by meticulously executing each step in a task they were performing for the first time. No casualties needing urgent evacuation had arisen yet. Although many must have seen the monster falling from the sky, rushing towards the headquarters seemed unlikely at this point. The fact that monsters had appeared remained unchanged. However, the results differed significantly depending on whether one acted in panic or maintained calm and composure. To either, it seemed that Kishir was well aware of this and was using it more effectively than anyone else. His very first words were already a calculated move. Everyone knows that a crack appears briefly when a monster emerges, but he deliberately downplayed the anomaly in the crack, focusing only on the familiar aspects to quickly dispel the chaos. Normally, the cracks to tear open during a monster's emergence disappear as soon as the monster fully materializes, usually so swiftly that it's hard to discern the crack. However, cracks that appear right before a disaster, which do not immediately release monsters, show an abnormal persistence. In the West, monsters had explosively emerged from such cracks disappeared. This time, there was a delay before the monsters emerged, but it was not typical. Nevertheless, a crack appeared, followed by monsters. Kishir deliberately emphasized this point to prevent people from becoming excessively anxious about the unusual aspects. He helped them accept the current situation as familiar, enabling them to regain their usual strength and response capabilities. The ability to succinctly end all this turmoil with just a few words was not an easy task, even for a seasoned leader. After calming the people, he deliberately exerted more force to eliminate the monsters conspicuously. Even if this meant excessively expending energy, it was a necessary action deemed for the benefit of those present. Kishir's swordsmanship and abilities were indeed formidable, but he, like Yidhir, had already expended a significant amount of power before arriving here. Rather than using such overwhelming and excessive force from the beginning, it would have been a safer decision for him to go a little slower to understand the monster's nature and information. But Kishir chose not to proceed as expected. He opted for a more perilous approach for the sake of the members present and others, entrusting Yidhir with the task of understanding the monsters and ensuring his own safety. Yidhir understood that even a slight faltering in his support could put Kishir in immediate danger. Yet Kishir had made this decision regardless. The reason was clear. Because he believed that I would firmly support him, and conversely, Kishir was confident that he could prevent me from having to directly exert my strength against the monsters. Yidhir watched Kishir, who was wholly focused on the battle, brushing away the blinding shards flying towards him. In this perilous situation, armed with only a sword, Kishir appeared more liberated than ever. His unbelievable speed and tremendous strength against the much larger monsters made it all possible. However, Kishir's apparent freedom did not mean the task was easy. Either, even as a mere observer, could feel the intense concentration Kishir was applying to the task at hand. Each movement, laden with power, might seem to others as just great strength or a tremendous aura, but the reality was different. Kishir was not someone who, like ordinary people, could freely attack using all his strength. If he failed to maintain the balance of the powers within his body, problems could arise, making it imperative to stay within a safe limit. Even Yudhir could hardly guess how difficult this was. Yet still, the sight of the man swinging his aura-wrapped sword, evading the monster's attacks, seemed incongruously liberating. It was as if a beast long restrained by a leash had finally been set free to run wild for a moment. Yudhir thought that perhaps this moment marked the first time in Kishir Laor's life that he could purely focus on facing his enemy. While such an experience was common for Yudhir, it was likely not the case for Kishir. His swordsmanship, honed in solitude and intense practice, was purely beautiful, even without a dazzling aura. The divine sword in his hand hummed softly with each strike, resonating as if excited by a long battle like an eager beast. Frankly, Yudhir wished he could continue to watch, but he remembered the importance of his role in ensuring Kishir could keep his complete focus on the battle. I have never seen this monster before, but that doesn't mean it's difficult to understand. The monster they were facing was quite large. Its body resembled a mud clump rolling downhill, with limbs or perhaps tails or squid-like tentacles protruding long and unclear. The key point was that, despite appearing randomly placed, the limbs clustered in 4 to 5 areas. When assessing a monster, one should first notice such common features. Understanding where the eyes, nose, and mouth are and identifying unique aspects of its appearance makes it easier to strategize. This one doesn't have a fixed position for eyes, nose, or mouth on each individual. These seem to be less useful organs compared to its limbs. And considering the monster corpse that Kishir split in half earlier, Yudhir's gaze returned to the pile of monster carcasses Kishir had accumulated. Among them, the very first one that Kishir had slain and split precisely in half revealed something resembling soft bones connecting to 4 clusters of legs attached to some part inside. Though the hard state made it difficult to discern its original form, a focused look allowed Yudhir to somewhat understand its structure. His eyes, currently shining with a golden hue from exerting power, meticulously scanned that area. Though he would have preferred a more detailed examination by touch, there was no time for that now. Still, from experience, he was certain that this area was likely a weakness. Even the monster that didn't die immediately when Kishir split them in half seemed to have their core located in a spot he couldn't damage instantly. Instead of targeting their center indiscriminately, I need to identify the point where these leg clusters intersect. Given the randomness of the monster's leg positions, the location of the core must be similarly unpredictable. Yudhir Eyal's attacks hardly affected the monsters, but his reign as a cavalry commander capable of slaying countless monsters was simple. It was his tenacity in observing and re-observing the monsters which others shunned to identify their weaknesses and devise methods to defeat them. Once a weakness was identified, the next step was to prepare weapons capable of direct attacks and to create, through his power, a terrain advantages of an assault, corralling the monster into it. It was a trap-like method perfected through immense capability and thorough preparation. While he couldn't apply this method now, the information would certainly be helpful to Kishir. Commander, you must target between the clusters of the monster's legs. The core connected these clusters exist inside the torso, so first identify and attack that spot. As Yudhir relayed this information, he swung his power-infused sword at the monster Kishir was engaging. Seizing a brief moment when part of the monster's legs was trapped on the ground, he thrust his flame-powered sword into the torso, pushing it away, igniting whatever fur or scales were there, leaving a blackened brand. A terrible scream filled the air. Done. As Yudhir leaned back upon achieving his goal, Kishir advanced in turn, precisely targeting the branded area with his sword. After a fleeting moment, their gazes locked.